Hi, this is Dr. Nikitow. So I want to talk to you a little bit about our approach to scoliosis and why we're so successful in correcting scoliosis first, and then we'll talk to you a little bit about migraines. But basically, first thing you have to understand is that chiropractors are not back pain doctors, but we're nerve doctors. And when we're dealing with spinal correction, what we're doing is changing the firing of the nerve, because the nerve is what's telling the muscle what to do. Muscles have no brain, so the brain has to signal messages down the spinal cord out the nerves, so those nerves can then carry messages so the brain can direct posturing. Now in posturing, you have to have equal balance from front to back and side to side. So therefore you're lining up straight, okay? If the nerve is overfiring to one muscle, it's going to start to deviate or pull that vertebrae and that entire spinal column out of alignment, okay? So it's very important to identify this, and we do this with three-dimensional posture exams as well as x-rays. And most chiropractors don't use three dimensions, but we do, because we do what's called spinal correction. Once we identify those patterns, we can reverse the firing of the nerve through adjustments and exercise, which work on both the fast nerve receptors and the slow nerve receptors, okay? So that's kind of the skinny version of the neurology of how this stuff works. But if you take a look at this one boy that we worked on, he's 15 years old, and he came in with quite a big deviation in his spine. So you can see his spine is curving all the way off center here. And when we measure this is the weight-bearing point. So this line is what we call the weight-bearing line. That should fall right down the center of the vertebrae, and these are the parts that carry the weight, okay? The side parts here are the parts that are where the joints are. So basically, when we look at a spine, you should basically have the weight being carried right down the center here, okay, which corresponds to the blocky part of the vertebrae, and that's where the discs are. And this allows the spine to carry the weight and act like a shock absorber, okay? So from front to back, we should be pretty straight, but from the side, we should have these three arcs, so that way your spine acts like a spring, okay? So you can see that here. So basically, where you see these dots on the x-rays, the center point of these vertebrae, and you'll notice that here, he's 22.8 millimeters shifted off to the right. So this would be the right side, this would be the left side, okay? So as we see that, when the pelvis shifts this far over to the side, he's compressing on the joints. The joints have no disc or cushion to carry the weight, so hence they're going to wear out a lot faster, and you can get a lot of back pain. There can be a lot of pressure on nerves that affect the female or the male function, the female function, obviously, the colon, those areas there. In the center, this can cause digestive areas. It can cause problems with the heart and lung up here, and can cause a lot of headaches and distortions in things like the immune system and the hormone system. So correcting scoliosis is an art, and we have a very good technique in order to fix that. So as you can see, this before x-ray, he was 22 millimeters off here, 22.8 millimeters off here. He had a curve of 20.7 and 21.9. This is only after 3 months. We're still working on this young boy, but look at the difference in the curve and how this is all straightened out, okay, from this. Okay, then this, he's still got a little bit to go in here, but he's less than 10 degrees in here from 20.7. This one is less than 8 degrees, and you can see that he's pretty straight as we course that action in there. And we've made some pretty drastic corrections with him. So once again, in terms of scoliosis correction, you have to work on two parts of the nervous system. The fast part of the nerve, which is what we call the fast nerve receptor, that's going to signal the muscle to pull differently, as well as certain exercises which work on the slow receptor. So the adjustments do the fast receptor, the exercises do the slow receptor. And then we do other things like wedging, where we'll do certain wedges where we'll send the patient home and they'll actually lay on certain wedges, things like that. But here we've done a lot to change the nerve muscle memory, because the nerves were overfiring here and here. And this is the signaling part where the brain messages cross. And so basically what research has found is that when we have disruption of nerve impulses coming out of the brain into the body and back, basically that will cause a deviation. In this study, this is a very famous study from the Journal of Spine, and it talks about the disturbances of postural equilibrium, equal posture, have been found in idiopathic scoliosis. And several researchers have suggested that this is from brainstem disturbances It has been shown experimentally that the stress on the posterior nerve roots can cause spinal deviation. So what they're talking about here is that if this is out of alignment here, it can cause the rest of the spine to go out of alignment. Once we as chiropractors identify that, we can actually make that a full correction. So I would encourage you to get your spine checked if you're having issues like that, or if you've never been checked for scoliosis. It won't cause you a lot of pain and discomfort at the beginning, but eventually it'll get worse and worse as time goes on. We had another boy here that they were going to put rods in his back. He was 12 years old, and in 5 months his spine was perfectly straight. He is now 6'6". The mother was kind of upset that the orthopedic surgeons from Children's Hospital didn't even mention the word chiropractic, and now he's 6'6". They wanted to put titanium rods in his back to straighten him out, and as you can see here, he was fixed in 5 months. So basically, again, if you're going to a chiropractor, they have to take x-rays before and after to show you the results and the changes. But the most important thing is understanding nerve control. And the adjustment of the spine doesn't move a bone into place. It triggers the nerve receptor. The nerve tells the muscle what to do, the muscle holds the bone. And as we identify the pattern, we can put it into a mirror image and start working the spine into the other direction. Just like you'd learn to play a piano or learn to play a sport, okay? The exam's completely free. So we're allowing anybody to come in with them and their family. And if you have anything like that, or if you have any friends that have issues like that, this could be a life-changing experience. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.